Ever want to position a layer relative to another layer? Perhaps you have a text layer that you want to stay in the center of a background asset, or you want to align the top of one icon with the bottom of another. The centerMeX and centerMeY functions let you position that layer relative to the center of another layer. The layer edge functions return a value lined up with the side of a referenced asset, and the layer width and layer height functions retrieve the dimensions of another layer. You can use these functions so elements will automatically align with other layers even if you adjust those layers. Let's take a look. Looking at my text asset, I'm using the centerMeX and centerMeY functions to center my card title, Battle Rifle, with the gray background underneath. So when I move that background, even with drag and drop, the text remains aligned with it. When you use the centerMeX and centerMeY functions, you can leave the parentheses empty to center the asset on the design. But, like I'm doing in this case, if you want to center it on another layer, in the parentheses, you need to have a single or double quote followed by the layer's name followed by a matching quote. In this case, we're centering it on the title background layer. Notice that in a similar way, I'm using the layer width and layer height functions to make the dimensions of my text box match the dimensions of the background layer. These functions are taking the height and width from the title background layer and placing them in these fields for the text layer. Likewise, you can use the layer edge functions to align layers. The icon background layer is using the layer bottom function to align its top with the bottom of the title background layer. Similarly, the Y position of this top icon is pulling the top boundary of the icon background layer. You can also use the layer left and layer right functions to get the respective boundaries for the right and left of a layer. As a final note, you can even include these functions in math equations. Here, I used the layer width function to match the icon's width to the background. But I needed it to be a little smaller than the actual boundary, so I used layer width icon background -5 within the templating language. We just examined 3 sets of functions to position layers relative to each other. You can use the centerMeX and centerMeY functions to center one layer onto another. Leverage the layer edge functions to align the edge of one asset with another. And finally, you can add layer height and width functions to keep layer sizes scaled relative to one another. Remember that each of these functions can be included with math equations in your templating language for more precise control. Thanks for watching this Component.Studio 2 tutorial. If you have comments or questions, leave them below here on YouTube, on our Component.Studio Facebook group, or join the GameCrafter Discord group. Until next time, I'm Andrew Voigt, helping you make the best games you can.